Good morning, Miss Audrey, right?
Yes, good morning, doctor.
For the first part of your examination in the eye clinic today, we would be recording your visual acuity.
Okay.
I notice you're wearing glasses. How long have you been wearing glasses?
I've been wearing it for the past 10 years.
Okay. And when was the last correction?
It was 6 months ago.
6 months back. Okay, for me to record your visual acuity, I would like you to please sit at the back there.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So we have the patient sitting at a distance of about 6 meters or 20 feet away from the Sneddon's chart. Can you remove your glasses, please?
Yeah, sure.
First, start by recording the visual acuity for individual eyes. In order to check for the visual acuity for the right eye, I would request the patient to close her left eye. I can do that by asking the patient to occlude the eye, or I can use a multi-purpose trial frame. Now this trial frame has multiple compartments which can be used to place corrective lenses, either spherical or cylindrical lenses. They can be used to place occluders or special lenses like prisms. So for now, I have an occluder with me and I will occlude the patient's left eye. Having done that, I ask the patient to start reading from the Sneddon's chart. Can you see the chart there, Audrey?
Yes.
So from the top, please start reading the alphabets as you see them.
Okay.
This one?
T, O, Y. Unable to read.
Oh, okay. So from a distance of 6 meters, Audrey with her right eye is able to reach the two top lines, and the visual acuity is recorded as 6/36. Now as you would understand here, I am recording the visual acuity as a fraction. 6, or the numerator, stands for the distance at which the patient is placed from the Sneddon's chart, whereas 36, the denominator, denotes the distance at which a normal person will be able to read the alphabet. Next, we record the visual acuity for the left eye. For that, I need to cover or place the occluder in front of her right eye. Okay, Miss Audrey, can you please read now?
T, O, Y, H, U, V, A, T, Y, M. Unable to read.
Okay. So in the left eye, she is able to read the top 4 lines, and I record the visual acuity as 6/18. Having recorded the unaided visual acuity in the two eyes, now since the visual acuity was reduced, we would use a pinhole to confirm or find out what is the possible cause for this reduction in vision. Again, I would record for each eye separately. Examining the right eye first, I occlude the patient's left eye and place a pinhole in front of the patient's right eye. Miss Audrey, I want you to read now. Can you see through this hole now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so will you please read for me from the top line?
T, O, Y, H, U, V, A, T, Y, M, X, O, W, U, H. The first 2 letters unable to read, V, T, X, and unable to read. Unable to read.
So in her right eye, while using the pinhole, she is able to read the 6/9 line partially, and I see that she can see actually just 3 of the alphabets. So I record the visual acuity as 6/9 part. I can further record it as -2 or 3, depending on if she misses 2 alphabets, or if the patient cannot read only one, you put a -1 or a -2 denotion. We will now place the pinhole in front of her left eye and ask her to read the alphabets again.
T O Y U V A T Y M X O W H Y U V T X O A W I M H Y T. Unable to read.
So she can read till the second last line, that is the 6-6 line. We then move to check the visual acuity with the current spectacle correction that she is wearing. We then record the visual acuity for the patient with her current spectacles. So, Ms. Audrey, can you wear your spectacles, please?
Yes, sure.
Again, I would like you to cover your left eye and read for me.
T O Y H U V
Now, with your right eye covered, can you please read with your left eye?
T O Y H U V.
And the patient can actually read up to the last line. So it's the best corrected visual acuity is 6/6 in her right eye and 6/6 in her left eye. At the end of it, I would like you to please read with both your eyes. Can you read?
Yes. T O Y H U V.
And she can actually read up to the 6/5 line. So we have now recorded the visual acuity unaided, with a pinhole and with a spectacle correction in the right eye and the left eye individually. We may come across patients who will actually not be able to see the Snellen's chart from a distance of 6 meters. So for example, Mr. Pong, can you remove your glasses please? And you can safely keep them in your pocket. And can you cover your right eye? Yeah. So can you see this, the topmost letter?
No.
Under such situations, we ask the patient to now move closer to the Snellen's chart. So can you please get up and take one step forward, one big step forward? Yes, thank you. Can you see the chart now? No. Another step forward, please. No?
No.
One more step, please. Okay. And now, can you come here? Right. Now. So can you read the topmost alphabet now?
Yes, it's T.
T. So what we find here is I was bringing the patient 1 meter at one time 1 meter closer to the chart, and now when the patient is approximately 2 meters from the Snellen's chart, he is able to see the topmost alphabet. I therefore record the visual acuity as 2/60. Again, 2 standing for the distance at which the patient is from the Snellen's chart, and the topmost alphabet that is actually visible for a normal individual from a distance of 60 meters. So while the patient was 2 meters away from the Snellen's chart, he was able to see the topmost letter, and we recorded the visual acuity as 2/60. What if the patient, even when you moved him 1 meter close to the chart, was not able to visualize the Snellen's chart? Then we know that 1 meter is approximately 3 feet. So from a distance of about 3 feet, I asked the patient to count my fingers. Mr. Bong, can you see this now?
No.
No. Okay. Now,
Yes.
how many fingers do you see?
2.
Now?
1.
Okay. So the patient is able to count fingers from a distance of 2 feet, and we record the visual acuity as counting fingers 2 feet. If the patient is still not able to see, I move 1 foot closer to the eye. If the patient still cannot see, then close to his face, I move my hands and see whether the patient can appreciate hand movements or not. Can you?
Yes.
Now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Since the patient is able to appreciate hand movements, I record the visual acuity as hand movements present. If the patient still cannot see anything, then I shine a bright light into the patient's eye and see whether the patient is able to perceive light or not. Can you?
Yes.
Now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Since the patient is able to perceive light, the visual acuity is recorded as perception of light is present. To conclude my recording of the visual function, the last step that I need to do is to check for projection of rays. Mr. Bong, I would be shining the torch from a particular direction. I want you to keep looking straight. Just point to me either with your finger or tell me where the light is coming from. I don't want you to move your eyes. Keep looking straight, please. Do you see the torchlight?
Yes.
Where is it coming from?
Down there.
Thank you. Now,
On my left.
now,
Up.
now,
On my right.
on the right side. So I have checked for projection of rays in all the 4 quadrants, and the patient has accurately pointed to me the direction from which the light is coming. Projection of rays essentially tells me about the functional integrity of the peripheral retina.